You have a friend who can't figure out why they're single, but you know why. What's the reason? I have a friend who is single and complains about it constantly / asks why. I want to shake her and tell her it's because she's way too entitled. I'm wondering if guys experience this as well. I have a friend in his 40s who is desperate to find a partner. He has become so focused on finding a partner he has ended up putting endless pressure on himself. It's all he thinks about. In some ways he is like a teenage boy trying to find his first girlfriend. As a result he is trying far too hard and can't relax and be himself. He has never had a problem finding girlfriends in that past, but now he is stuck in this vicious cycle. This situation happened to my best friend for a while. My friend, I'll refer to him O in this post, O is the son of immigrants from a culture that puts enormous pressure on sons to settle down and get married. O is smart, funny, kind, fairly fit, and a good-looking man. O also works in a prestige profession. On paper he seemed like the sort of person who should easily meet potential romantic partners. But for years he failed to regularly go on first dates, and never beyond that. O's problem was that he put such enormous pressure on himself to find a lifelong partner that he tended to come on way too strong when he met someone. His behavior, in turn, turned people off. The rejection then drove O to become even more anxious that he needed to find someone. I don't exactly know why, but O eventually sort of accepted that he wouldn't ever meet anyone. After essentially giving up, he met the woman who became his wife within a month. The couple now have a young daughter and couldn't be happier. I'm really happy for O and his family. Female friend, she gets way too personal too quickly, realizes they're getting too close but can't figure out why. Anyways she pumps the brakes and ghosts and flips out on them for trying to be her boyfriend and then blocks them. Returns weeks later wanting to apologize, but at that point it's too late. My friend owns a flat, he's good looking, active in gym and cycles a lot, knows how to cook and keeps his flat spotless, so why is he single? He is so fucking self-obsessed. Now we have been friends for years and I tend to shut him down very quickly, but watching him chatting up women is literally him chatting and her not getting a word in. Lack of effort. His self-confidence is so low that he's never tried to get a girlfriend before and has struggled to break out of that. Me and my friends try to build him up but he never seems to try. By this point he's built up a bit of a woe is me attitude around dating. It's sad and frustrating to watch. A guy friend of mine is not willing to date his parallel but expects women to like him for who he is. He's negative, unkempt, snappy, and just lacks spatial awareness. Yup, he was a self-admitted dick. We kept telling him he was a dick and one day he up and decided, I'm gonna work on not being a dick. Dude's not a dick anymore. The end. If they ask why they're single, respond with a question. What do you want out of a relationship? What are you going to offer in return? Maybe what you're offering isn't good enough for what you're asking for. He's very big. He insists on finding a girl he's attracted to but doesn't recognize that his morbid obesity is a turn-off. I have a friend who couldn't find a woman. It's because he's way too intense, way too early. Like, show up with a dozen roses on the second date, intense. It's kind of sad. He lives with his ex-GF and her family. Oh, I know exactly why. It's a tie between him cheating on every single girlfriend he had in the past and his smoking of weed which always leaves him messed up. One day, we were sharing a beer and the following conversation happens. Him, dude, what's wrong with me? I have a decent job, true, my own place, true, I'm not ugly, well, I'm no expert when it comes to male beauty but he's a good-looking dude, and I don't have a shitty personality, boy, is he wrong. Dude, you had 6 girlfriends in the last 4 years and you cheated on all of them. Word gets around. Have you thought about, not cheat on them? Him, dude, I can't go without sex for a long time. Well, he's gonna be single for a while. Edit, I'll answer some questions. I'm friends with him because, despite those 2 abysmal flaws, he's a pretty okay guy. Always ready to help and always there for his buds. He's just not relationship material. I bring weed because he smokes a lot of it and it really fucks his decision-making many times. I've got a few friends. One is way too clingy, needing attention 24/7 and basically put in a dog collar to where she can't have her own freedom to hang with friends. One is unwilling to let go of an ex, who is now FWB, and feels that he's cheating on her, so he'll go on a date, and end up hitting up his FWB. Another one is all in or nothing. It comes off as super cringe. Like this dude will suit up like he's going to a Michelin star restaurant, flowers in hand, to meet up with someone at a milk tea shop. He's even told me has told girls he loves them on the first date. It ultimately comes down to how strong and open you and hers relationship is. I try to be extremely honest with my friends. I want them to be the best version of themselves and that means that sometimes we point out each other's shortcomings and self-blind spots. There are plenty of relationships in my life that I can't speak as openly, but I consider those relationships as important as my true friends. He doesn't go anywhere where he could meet them. Friend is an awesome person, but he continues to lie to himself. He's clearly gay, but he goes after women. His mama knows. His ex-wife knows. His friends all know. He just keeps pretending it's a secret we can't see. So he continues trying to date women, dumping them for some shallow reason, going to gay clubs, crying about being single, and then repeating the process again. I have a friend like this. Just constantly bitching about his lack of relationship. Nobody wants to date that, he is just chasing them all away with his attitude. She's in my friend group and insists she needs a man over 6 feet 2 inches that makes over $150K. Explain to her as a man in that demographic, we specifically avoid women looking for men in that demographic. She told me we don't, I told her we have meetings and we do. Because she is toxic AF. She doesn't want to work on herself at all and yet expects a man with the looks of Chris Evans or Jason Momoa and the character of the Pope. 2 of them actually. Both can't talk to women romantically and lack any semblance of self-confidence, but refuse to do anything that could help improve them in those areas. One emotion dumps all his baggage at the first hint of extended conversation. The other is just super nice and gullible, so he gets taken advantage of easily. Woman here. I have a friend who is a serial monogamist and perpetually lonely. She keeps having unfulfilling relationships because she gets wrapped up in how nice it feels to have the guy like her, and then after a while she realizes that she didn't put much thought into whether she liked him, and suddenly the relationship isn't giving her the boost it did when it first started. So they break up and the friend says this time she'll be alone for a bit and sort herself out, but then some guy will like her, she's pretty and smart, and it will start all over again. It'll never stop because she's waiting for someone to give her that constant dopamine boost of the early thrill of someone liking her that is literally impossible, and because she doesn't date guys because she likes them, she likes how they initially make her feel. My best friend is a male, and it's 100% his lack of depth in conversations with women. I've set up his dating accounts and even set up on dates. It's not that women don't find him attractive. But they stop talking to him once they realize he isn't engaging in anything, and I've tried to tell him this. For example, my friend's cat just had kittens. My male friend likes this other friend and was looking for a cat because his died. I said, why don't you text her and ask her about the cats? He legit cold messaged her, so, do you like cats? And not surprisingly, she never replied. There's no hope for him. Another time with a different girl, we were all getting drinks before a movie and instead of talking to her when she wanted to see what he was up to, and she was interested, he pulled out his phone to talk about all the money he was losing on sports betting and began betting right there. It was like a car accident I couldn't look away from. Last time, we all went up to a cabin, and this girl was offering him shots and kept touching his shoulder and asking him where he was sleeping for the night. He didn't get the hint, got so drunk he cried to her and I for an hour about his awful ex and went to play darts in the corner. The chick was annoyed and went to bed. I tried telling him the next morning and he was like fudge, rib buddy one day. Yes for sure, although not at this point in my life, I had many friends like this in the past. Reasons why? Usually, they didn't leave their house, spent every minute gaming basically. They never socialized when they did go out. Because of the 2 above things they had terrible social skills. Also I would say a common thread is unrealistic expectations of romance, oftentimes that whole weeb kind of thing going on. So really, I would say the number 1 reason guys I know are single is they lack fundamental social skills and unrealistic expectations and being a weeb. Known this guy going in 25 years, never had a girlfriend or really anything resembling a relationship. I don't think he's gay, he comments on women's looks every now and then but has never really seemed interested. He's a good-looking dude with a good job who takes care of himself. Shoot, maybe he is gay-ick. I know one guy, he's actually a friend of my little brother. This guy has a good job, has his own house, a nice Mercedes, is not horrible looking, but will die a virgin. He is incapable of talking in general, let alone to women. I've known him for all his life, which is 33 years, and I don't think I've ever said more to him than hi and how are you. The strange thing is that he, my brother told me, doesn't really understand why this is a problem. Why would women need a guy who uses words to communicate? He's tried to get on dating shows but was rejected for all of them, and even tried speed dating. I honestly wish I could have been there for the speed dating, that would be the most awkward thing ever, again and again and again. The guy just doesn't talk. It's one of those things we've all talked about in our family for years, and will talk about for many more. Complete butthole, has zero understanding of how to interact with people socially, is very demanding of pictures and information in the preliminary stages of getting to know someone new, and when they aren't totally receptive of his demanding nature he just frames them as a psycho biatch and moves on to the next unlucky soul to cross his path and pique his interest.